Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta remember this trick.
So yeah,
So
this
yeah,
is Postvoid.
yeah, no, yeah. This looks better. So at the same time, now that we have everything working, can you please introduce the game? Tell me what we are about to see, what
So
we're
this
gonna
is
see.
yeah, it's me and my work partner Christopher. We made this, and it's a really fast-paced roguelike arcadey shooter. So like this is the tutorial. You just get the movement. It's really fast-paced, and then this is the most important part. On the left, your left hand holds an idol, which has a liquid in it. So you don't want that liquid to run out. Now,
Mm-hmm.
right now I can't do anything, but soon
Mhm.
I'll get a gun. And with this
Right.
gun, when you shoot people, you get their liquids,
Uh-huh.
and that fills up your bar. And you try to make it to the end as quickly as possible. So you want to jump into that pool.
All right, and then that was that level, or
Yeah, that was just the tutorial, just to like
yeah.
get a. There was no consequence. You couldn't die there anyway. So yeah, this is the story, if you can call it
All
that.
right. Yeah,
So,
I
what has
really.
been like an influence for this game?
The Titanfall 2 tutorial.
Oh,
Yeah, that Francis Bacon and Downwell. Those are the
that's
main influences.
it's a really interesting combo.
Yeah. Well, it's like, okay, if you've played Titanfall 2, it's the tutorial is so much fun that you can just play it over and over and over again. And there's a high score and everything. And it was incredible. So we sat for like 3 hours just playing the tutorial as like just playing replay on it. So we thought like, oh, I was thinking about it when I was playing. I was like, oh, this would be an amazing game just on its own. And like combine that with Downwell's kind of addicting quality with like power ups between levels,
Mhm.
um, and then having some fast paced, you can't hear it, but fast paced music and like really intense sound effects,
Yeah.
and like the Francis Bacon style of how humans are portrayed. So this is the game, and it's so now I'm
It's
just
kind
trying
of
to get as quickly as possible to the end.
Whoa.
the art style kind of for me reminded me of Ren and Stimpy from the
Oh yeah,
90s. I
yeah,
don't know if that
I love
makes
Ren and
any sense.
Stimpy. It does. Get it. It is definitely like some form of Ren and Stimpy in there because they're they mess around with like form and shape and everything. And I was trying to do that. Like I didn't want anything to actually like look normal, but at the same time everything should be recognizable.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so like every it's a small detail, but it was kind of it makes a big difference. Like do you see that the world is always bending?
Mhm.
If I stand still, you notice it. Like the whole map is constantly moving, like if it's on a wave.
Yeah.
Uh, and this was like a huge thing because in a game where you're just kind of moving forward and or like jumping at in the later levels, uh, aim became really easy because you just hold your aim in one spot and you kind of get headshots on everything. So once we added this like wave mechanic, you kind of have to start aiming and it becomes so much more chaotic, which was
Yeah,
the point.
definitely. Like I was trying, chaotic is a really good word. When I was trying this game, I felt like I cannot have. I felt like I was out of control. Like things were just happening, and I was just like feeling desperate for trying to gain control. But no, like
I think
it
a
felt
lot of people feel like
impossible.
that. I think a lot of people feel like that in the beginning,
Mm,
when it just kind of like it's just overwhelms you because there's
mm,
so much color, so much noise. Like the enemies kill you in 3 hits, uh, and you don't have any time for it to even think. So like in the beginning, it makes you feel like it's just random if you make it or not. But it's really quickly like you notice that it is skill, and later on, when you get to like the later levels where you don't actually have time to think and it just kind of goes on muscle memory, you get into this weird like flow state. So that feels really good. And then but
I
it's
can
kind of cool
imagine.
because by the end of it, when you get to when you die, or like if you make it to the end, you don't really realize what happened. Like you try to think about the levels. And you're like, wait, what did I just do? So it's like it plays on some kind of subconscious, animalistic need to get to the end, to jump into peace.
Yeah, I could really see that happening.
Yeah, this
But
is
you
like
guys can't play it.
yeah,
I've played it so many times, so it's like
yeah. And I really had to say when we were testing it out before, that the music really adds to that chaos as well.
oh yeah.
There's like some like really really fast paced lead
What's that
guitars
thing?
there that are.
Sorry.
Wait, I'll
I'm
get
so like
it's a big
distracted.
big naked boy who he's gotten so big that he's stuck in the levels.
I was actually seeing what I thought I was seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see one again probably. And I think like with the sound effects, in the beginning, he's trying to like he's still tough, but then you shoot him once and he puts his hands on his face and he starts to cry. And it makes it harder. He's kind of blocks you off. So the like gameplay mechanic wise, he's if you get a headshot immediately, he dies and disappears, and with the way is clear. Like there he is.
Oh yeah.
If you miss, then he puts his face up. He puts his hands up, and you have to shoot him a lot more until he disappears.
This was actually like
Oh,
we were.
yeah. Oh, that's disturbing. That's disturbing.
We were like emailing to you, like, do you want to join? We have a horror stream going on, and it was you, I believe, who replied that, like, you're like, this is not a horror game. Like,
yeah.
that was something basically what you said. But like, this just felt. It was just felt like the right thing to do to ask you to join here as well, because this game is like, it's not like how I see it, it's not like horror in a way you might think like when somebody says a horror game, but this has some elements how I see it, and I believe this really fits for the evening.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, there's definitely. I mean, I was thinking like if you guys have a horror theme going on, then maybe it wasn't right. But if you guys feel it's right, then it's right.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote.
Yeah, I would say definitely that guy that was stuck between the walls that actually falls under the category of horror.
Yeah, and we were having like social media advertisements that, like, how was it? Horror night, kinda.
Yeah,
I don't remember
yeah.
it precisely. Something like that.
I think that for me, at least, like personally, the most horrifying are. I don't think they appear on this level, but they're the hands with telephones on them. They're constantly calling you.
Oh,
I hate phone calls so much, like in real life. So to me, that's like the most horrifying thing. Just to be pestered by flying drones that are constantly calling you.
This is kind of poetic.
Like all the characters are like we wanted everything to be kind of personal to us too, to me and Christopher. So
Yeah.
it all has kind of like a meaning to why we have these enemies. But then we also wanted to have like mechanically that they should be interesting. That's why there's not that many characters. There's only 7 enemies, I think, or 6 enemies in the game. So it's pretty bare bones. It's like it's surprising how little you can make something fun.
Yeah, exactly, and it feels like it feels like there's lots of things changing all the time, and that it's not the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big part is because it takes so much of your intention to play the game that you can't play it for too long. So you never get too bored of the loop of it.
Yeah.
Because a game session is usually like 15 minutes, and then you're like, oh, I'm tired, I'm done.
So is that character over there with the, that's like the mouth is just like the whole head is just like a big mouth? Is that like a former colleague or something that talked too much?
No, I've actually never had any other colleagues. So
Yeah.
it's just me and Christopher have just been working together since we started making games.
Yeah,
no, but
I
he's
get your. Sorry, go on.
No, what were you saying?
Oh,
Here it is, the drone, one of them. Ah,
So
There-
this
there.
feels like a game for speedrunners as well.
yeah, they seem to have enjoyed it.
It's what they love to do. Like,
I think for speedrunners, it was interesting because like how they set up a Discord and everything, and it was pretty fun to see how they play it, and they were writing like taking it data mining it and trying to find how things work exactly, like how the point system works and how the directional movement works, and how like if you strafe and look to the side, like this 45-degree angle, how you move a little bit faster, and then
yeah,
how the slide works as well, like if it increases your speed or if it's like you can slide through enemies as well. So they were like looking through those kind of things, and I mean we definitely thought about it when we were making the game. Like we want speedrunners to enjoy it.
that's
So
cool.
we there's one one ability that we were hoping would be used for speedrunners, but apparently it wasn't worth it because it was too hard to do. But I still think like if people can do it, it's probably the fastest way to get through a level. But it's just I think a human probably can't do it perfectly every time, which means it's unreliable. So a speedrunner would probably not pick it. But it's the one where you run faster backwards.
No.
Oh my god.
But
It sounds
yeah,
crazy.
like we left in a little. It was a bug, but we just left it as a feature because it was kind of cool. If I get it, I'll show you because it makes more sense then. Yeah, all the artwork is from we wanted everything like the actual game to be like a little gallery. So I like try to redraw, like that's Rothko.
Yeah. I remember his paintings. Mark Rothko.
Yeah, because my idea was a little bit with the coloring is a little bit inspired from Rothko, because like all the like each level has a very particular color set. That kind of like the way that the top level and the bottom level had to work together with color schemes. So like this one, I think we had like a brighter, I think it was orange in the middle ones and then green on top, and it looked like a carrot, and it was just so distracting that you just like, I'm running through a fucking carrot. So we had to change it so that the floors. It was a lot of like changing back and forth the colors and trying to figure out like which are the best, which work well.
I think you
with
nailed the color team perfectly.
That's why at least that people were asking before, like, why is there not randomized? Like, why isn't there an infinite amount of levels and all that? So one of the reasons is because we wanted the colors to be very particular.
Yeah.
This is, I get some kind of like hippie community from this, I remember like all 60s, 70s, when you see pictures, it could be actually those kinds of colors combined.
Actually, if you look like, especially like maybe Western art deco, like how the sofas and everything were during the 60s. At least in Scandinavia, I would say this color theme kind of fits for the 60s or something like that.
You mean like the homes?
Like the color of the sofa and the carpet colors and everything. Actually,
like the sofa. This is actually my mom has a sofa like this.
Oh.
So I just drew it from memory, so it wasn't the right colors or anything, but it has kind of that shape, and I always feel like it was I always thought about it for some reason. It was one of those really uncomfortable sofas that looked kind of cool, and it didn't really fit the room or anything. So
Yeah, I remember those.
like these, my grandmother always had these kind of plants as well. So I just kind of added that into the game.
It's like everything has a kind of meaning, that something from your childhood or
Yeah, kind of, not just mine, I guess, but like, yeah. I can't. Well, I guess it is just mine because to draw it. But like this was an old lamp I had that I burnt. I accidentally had it. Oh man, how I put it in like a weird position on the wall, so like it was touching the cloth part, like the light bulb was touching the cloth,
Oh.
and it started burning. And I almost burned down the apartment because of that. And that's not the first time I've almost burned down the apartment, but it was one of those times that I was like, oh man, that's a weird way to do it.
Yeah, with all the 80s lamp.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
I love
around
the
that. So
attention to detail. That's
yeah,
very
exactly. So these characters, do you have any, the enemies? Do you have any kind of cool stories attached to them? I'm getting curious over here when you say that the lamps are from your apartment.
Well, like, I think I really like James Bond, so it's one of my like for these guys, I really wanted them to kind of feel James Bondy, like how they move and everything. So like their death animations are my idea of like, or that when you shoot him in the body, see how like he spins
Yeah.
and he just kind of like falls, and it's that like classic 70s kind of like out over the top, like, oh, I got shot 1,000 times and now I'm gonna the classic squib fall.
Yeah. So,
And
have
then
you
like,
played a lot the Nintendo 64's James Bond GoldenEye, I believe is the name.
oh, Christopher plays it. Had played it a lot,
Yeah.
but I never had a
Yeah.
64, so I
Just
didn't play it.
reminded like how the hero holds the gun on his
Yeah,
hand. It just reminded me of that. When
exactly.
you started to talk about James Bond, that came to my mind.
Yeah, definitely. Like, when you don't see it because like it goes so fast, and by the time you get to them, but their idol position, they have two idols, and one of them is from a band or like a French artist from the 60s that I like. The cover art for that, and then the other position is just my like a memory of James Bond.
That's awesome.
And like
Really-
I also it's kind of funny because if you remove the gun, you can just add a cigarette and it will just look super cool. Like he'll just be standing there like he's smoking. So
That's true.
it's any
Yeah.
position.
Yeah, I can see it now. Like between the index finger and the middle finger. Like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I checked your portfolio, or so to say, like what kind of other games you were having, and yeah, the art style is kind of fascinating. Like you have a distinguished art style in your games.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
So that's why I was asking if you have some other games, because this wasn't
Oh.
working for us. But yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if you meant our games or just games in general. So I just wrote a few games that I like.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might work actually as well. I mean, everything is fine with this stream. We're just here to have fun. So.
All right, cool. But
As long as
it
we're
works
having
now,
fun.
so yeah. Glad it works. Like it found a solution.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to copy this trick from you.
We have
wonder
a
what
Blue Demon. Blue Demon 75 here is I love Post Void a lot, and the game, its artwork kicked me back into drawing and painting after many years. It was big inspiration. Thank you for making this game.
Oh damn, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad that's like honestly, I think that's like the best compliment I could, or like we could ever get. Just being inspiring someone else to make art as well.
Yeah.
we've it's surprising that we've heard a few people saying stuff like that they've inspired by it, and like not just by drawing, but by making games as well, which is awesome because we made this in Game Maker, so it's anyone can technically do it.
Oh, yeah.
And we just played around with pretty simple concepts and it tried to like make sure that the details are fun and or that the details are well polished and that it's fun pretty much. Yeah. I really hope that more people, or if they play this, like feel like they can make stuff as well. That'd make me happy at least.
Oh, we have actually 3 minutes left. I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
Willa was there
exactly.
writing in the chat
damn.
that remember to get ready for the next game, and I was
Okay.
I was into it.
Yeah, just hypnotized by the game over here.
Yeah, falling
Yeah.
into trance.
I'll tab out
Yeah,
to
so
see you guys before we leave.
You don't have to hurry. You
Yeah.
please stay for a couple of minutes. Don't worry.
Yeah.
There's still time, and it was really wonderful that you were able to save this stream, and we owe you a lot.
No problem. No, I'm glad it worked.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope you guys
Yeah,
have
it
some
looks so
fun with
different.
the other games as well.
Yeah, and do you have anything to share with our viewers today? Like, where can we find this game? Where do we find you? Where?
Wait, should I link it on
You can do whatever. Yeah, you can write it in chat afterwards, but just tell us where.
Yeah,
Well-
it's on this postcode is on Steam. It's only on Steam as well. And otherwise, our Twitter is YCJY Games, and that's pretty much it. So
And the price on the Steam is really surprisingly low. I was surprised.
yeah, it's really cheap. Well, it's
I
because
was
like
expecting.
we don't feel like it is. I mean, probably maybe we could have had it more, but it's not worth. It's not fair for like the buyer because it's not a big game. It's kind of like like a mobile game, like at least in size. So it's a PC game that's a mobile game, but so that's why the price is that price. We also looked at like Devil Daggers, which is a really cool game, and done well as well on PC, and saw what their prices were. Kind of just went with that.
Yeah. So there's no excuse for not to buy the game. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
in euros, it's $3.99, I believe, something like that. If I remember right. Yeah.
It's $2.99.
$2.99.
Yeah, I think it's $2.99. Yeah, so it's really cheap, and yeah, we're gonna have, I don't know if anyone's watching this caring about this kind of thing. We're gonna have a restock on merch pretty soon. So T-shirts and posters.
What kind of, yeah. Oh, I need to see those shirts. Definitely.
I'll wait. I'll send. So those are going to be done. I think in the beginning of March, we'll have that ready.
Yeah.
I'll just post. I'll post a link
just for
if
the
anyone's
summer.
interested. For you guys. We just did it kind of for fun to have merch, so it's nothing that we're like trying to make money off of.
Yeah, it's censored actually. Can you put it on the private chat? And I think we can do it in the Twitch chat because we have the admin.
Oh, okay.
Rights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
let's
all right.
see. It should work. And if it doesn't work, we have our social media and we can write this on YouTube comments when it gets there. So no worries.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it works. Yeah, so
yeah,
now it's there.
Yeah, otherwise it's best if you link our Twitter, that'd be great because we'll be posting it there like when we're ready with it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
I will write a note. And yes, the next game is ready, and we have the next guest here.
Yeah. So thank you really a lot for being here and for
Yeah,
playing
thanks for having
actually
me.
the game, so we could see as this much of it, and actually sort of get the whole idea of the speed and everything, and it was really cool to see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's nice.
so
It's nice seeing you guys.
yeah, and thank you, and that was